if a team is to be established, right, especially when persons are new to each other, it's not always or usually a smooth process, right? You may have some challenges, right? Different persons, different ideas, right? Egos clashing and so on. So Tuckman came up with this four-stage, he called it, I think it's a group development model, the Tuckman's group development model. And in the first stage, he said, when you're forming a team, so we may form a team for a project, right? So some teams are project-based, right? We form a team for a project, maybe to procure some capital equipment. And the first stage is forming. So forming is when we don't know each other. We are now kind of getting to know each other right here. So the startup stage, as they say, when people first meet each other, this might be a very short meeting or a long meeting, all right, with the team lead or with the manager of the department, all right. Persons may introduce themselves and so on, right? And then a few days after we get the ball rolling, we start working together. But the challenge is we're not really working together yet, right? And this is where storming comes in. Storming is when you may have some friction, some chaos happening in there because I am accustomed doing things a certain way. So let's say I came from a different business unit and I functioned in the procurement role there. And Lolia, who joined the team, we going to purchase an item, a high value item. So there's a manager who brought professionals together. But when Lulia came from her business unit as a procurement professional or buyer, she accustomed doing things different to how I do things, right? She maybe her negotiation style might be different and so on. Many things. So we may have differences, right? But remember, we have to work together. So this is where you have some friction. And then Peter may have his way too. He came from a different department, and his mentor told him to do it a certain way. That's another thing. Mentor, you have different. Lulia's mentor told her to do it one way. Peter's mentor said, no, you don't. No, treat suppliers this way. See what's going on. So views are shared more assertively, as they say, and arguments may start, right? While people work out where they fit in the team, right? Right, and remember, you have persons with different personalities too, right? So this is normal though. This is not abnormal behavior. So it takes a manager to diffuse it. So the manager has to intervene and remind the team that, listen, this we all working towards one goal, for example, right? And we need to iron out these differences. As a matter of fact, it may take the leader of the team, the manager, to say, listen, this is how we're going to do it. You're going to do it this way, right? I don't want to hear about, we're not going to do it how you said you do it there or here. Or I might say, you know what, we're doing it. We're following how Lulia is doing it because that's how I was taught to do it, right? But the manager will have to bring things, bring a sense of order, right? But it's normal. Don't go stressing out yourself. That's normal behavior. Yeah, it's normal for people to disagree. It's very normal. It's normal to have egos too, and then but you have to manage it, right? But so then hopefully once the manager is successful, let's say Marilyn is the manager, then you have norming now. So norming is when we now starting to work together. As I mentioned here, things have calmed down, right? Yeah, we settle in. Right, week number 6, right? So we're working together. We smiling, and we all right. We okay. No arguments and so on. And performing is when Marilyn will start seeing us delivering. So she starts, she actually seeing the benefits of us working as a team, right? She getting her reports, getting information on which suppliers can provide it, right? She getting her cost information. Everything is coming in smoothly. Peter is providing the cost information. Um, Lulia is doing the analysis. Things working really nicely. performing. Right? Yeah. And then there's another step too called adjourning, right? But I don't have it here. But adjourning is when it's when the team ends and I go back to my business unit. Peter goes back to his business unit. Lulia goes back to her business unit, right? The job is done after 3 years, right? And yeah, that's how it goes, right? So, hey, the moral of the story is teams must be managed, and you can use Stockman's group development model to do it. Testing 1, 2, 3.